Dear spectators of the human tragedy. The sweet, intoxicating scent of freedom. We chase it like moths to a flame, believing that to break the chains is to dance in the sun. But let me tell you, freedom is a mirage. A glittering deception that lures you in, only to leave you standing in the desolate wasteland of your own making. You think liberation will bring peace? Oh, how naive. It's not peace that follows, but the hollow echo of your own footsteps in the silence of your solitude. Imagine a puppet severing its strings, leaping into the void, thinking it has found true autonomy. But what awaits it? The cold, hard ground. The illusion of liberation becomes a cruel joke, a bitter laugh that reverberates in the empty chambers of a heart once filled with purpose. You wanted to be free, didn't you? And now, look around. Your throne of independence is nothing but a chair made of shadows, and the applause you yearned for has faded into a chilling stillness. You sought to rid yourself of the powerful influence, that guiding hand that once directed you. In your quest for personal sovereignty, you unleashed chaos. The very fabric of your existence unravels like a poorly stitched tapestry. You thought you were tearing down the walls, but in truth, you were demolishing your own sanctuary. The displacement you craved is now your prison, and the bars are made of regret and missed connections. What a tangled web we weave, and we seek to escape the bonds of care. The absence of a guiding force leads not to freedom, but to anarchy, both in the world and within. Look at the ruins left behind. Relationships crumble like ancient ruins, once vibrant with life, now echoing with the ghosts of laughter and connection. You traded warmth for the cold embrace of isolation, believing it would empower you. But now, you stand alone, shivering in the darkness, your soul an empty vessel. The void left behind is a gaping maw that consumes all joy. It whispers sweet nothings into your ear, promising relief, yet delivers only a chilling silence. You're left to grapple with the echoes of your choices, the haunting refrain of "what if" swirling around you like a relentless storm. You wanted freedom, didn't you? But what you found instead was a desolation that stretches farther than the eye can see. And here's the truth: loneliness is not a friend, it's a predator. It stalks you, waiting for the moment you let your guard down. In your quest for autonomy, you've stepped into its lair, and now it feasts on your memories, on the connections you've severed in the name of self-determination. The very bonds that could have anchored you in turbulent waters have become the chains that bind you to despair. You sit in silence, surrounded by the wreckage of your decisions, and what do you hear? The silent weeping of your spirit. It's a mournful sound, a reminder that the price of your freedom is steep. You are the architect of your own sorrow, and the blueprint is etched in the choices you made, draped in the guise of liberation. So, revel in your freedom, if you can. But remember, the illusion is fleeting, and the darkness waits patiently. Because in the end, it is not the shackles that bind us, but the truths we refuse to face. You wanted to be free, but what you have is a haunting, a reminder that sometimes, the chains we wear are the very ties that bind us to our humanity. The seductive dance of chaos, how it beckons with a siren's call. You think you've shed the weight of control, but what you've really done is invite the tempest into your home. The moment you sever the ties that anchored you, you unleash a torrent, a swirling maelstrom of disorder that devours everything in its path. You wanted to be the master of your fate, yet now you find yourself adrift on a sea of uncertainty, the waves crashing down upon you with a savage fury. Picture a kingdom once ruled by order, where every brick was laid with intention. Now, look. It crumbles before your very eyes, a once mighty fortress reduced to rubble. The absence of a guiding force doesn't bring freedom, it births anarchy. And in this chaos, the lines blur, and the rules dissolve into the ether. What was once familiar becomes a nightmarish landscape, where trust is but a ghost and hope is a distant memory. Oh, how the mighty have fallen! The grand illusion of liberation gives way to the stark reality of pandemonium. Look around, society unravels at the seams. People claw at each other, desperate for a semblance of stability, but all they find is a void, a chasm that swallows their cries for help. The towers of civilization, built on the foundations of connection and trust, now stand as hollow shells, echoing with the sounds of despair and desperation. In this descent into chaos, the personal toll is heavy. Individuals, once vibrant and full of life, now wear the masks of the lost. They wander through the wreckage of their lives, haunted by the choices that led them here. Each face tells a story, a tale of dreams dashed against the rocks of reality. They thought they could embrace freedom without consequence, but all they've gained is a burden too heavy to bear. Oh, the irony! In the pursuit of autonomy, they've become prisoners of their own making. The very connections they sought to escape now serve as reminders of what they've lost. Isolation creeps in like a thief in the night, stealing away the warmth of community and replacing it with a chilling solitude. They thought they could dance alone, but the music has faded, leaving them with only the echoes of their own footsteps in an empty room. As chaos reigns, the personal impact becomes unbearable. The laughter that once filled the air is replaced by the haunting silence of regret. Those who sought to break free find themselves shackled by their own desires, trapped in a cycle of loneliness and despair. The stories of their lives intertwine, revealing a tapestry of sorrow woven from the threads of their choices. They are lost souls adrift in a world that has turned its back on them, longing for something they cannot name: connection, purpose, belonging. And what of the silent weeping? It hangs heavy in the air, a mournful dirge for the dreams that slip through their fingers. It's the sound of hearts breaking under the weight of regret, the soft sobs of souls yearning for solace in a world that feels unforgiving. They tell themselves they chose this path, that freedom was worth the price. Yet, deep down, they know the truth. They are the architects of their own despair, and the blueprints they crafted are stained with the ink of their own sorrow. So, in this chaotic dance of existence, one must ask, what does it mean to be free? To cast aside the chains that bind you, only to find yourself ensnared in a web of your own making. The darkness that once frightened you now offers a cruel comfort, a reminder that in the absence of control, chaos reigns supreme. And as the dust settles, the echoes of regret linger like shadows, reminding us that sometimes, true power lies not in freedom, but in the acceptance of the ties that bind. Ah, the cruel irony of freedom, an alluring mirage that many chase, believing it to be the panacea for all ills. But in the shadows of this pursuit lies a truth so bitter it could curdle the sweetest dream. In the quest for autonomy, a haunting specter emerges, whispering of isolation, wrapping its cold fingers around the heart. You yearn for liberation, yet what you truly seek is connection, the lifeline that binds us to one another. As the shackles fall away, they leave behind an emptiness so profound, it echoes like a forgotten psalm. Isolation in freedom is a deceptive veil, shrouding the soul in a false sense of victory. You stand tall, free from the burdens of others, yet in that very freedom, you become a ghost haunting your own life. The vibrant colors of companionship fade to gray, and you find yourself adrift in an ocean of silence. You tread water, fighting against the currents of your own making, yet the shore of connection seems forever out of reach. The more you seek to distance yourself from the ties that once anchored you, the more you drift into the abyss of solitude, where shadows dance with your deepest fears. And what of the community you cast aside? They were the threads that wove the fabric of your existence, the warmth that kept the chill of loneliness at bay. Now, as you stand alone, you realize those threads have unraveled, leaving you with nothing but tattered remnants of what once was. The laughter shared, the stories exchanged, each moment now feels like a distant memory, a fleeting glimpse of a life lived among others. The choice to prioritize freedom over connection was a gamble, and the stakes were steep. You traded the richness of belonging for the barren landscape of solitude, and now, the cost weighs heavy on your soul. In this silence, the weeping is loud, though it goes unheard. It is the sound of dreams that fade into the night, the quiet sobs of a heart burdened by regret. You tell yourself that freedom was worth it, that the chains you broke were shackles of oppression. Yet, in the stillness of your thoughts, you confront the truth. What you sought was never liberation, but rather a place to belong. The realization cuts deep, a jagged wound that refuses to heal. The echoes of your own choices reverberate within, reminding you that in the pursuit of autonomy, you became the architect of your own desolation. As the days stretch on, the weight of your decisions settles like a fog over your spirit. Each choice, made in the name of freedom, becomes a stone in your pocket, dragging you deeper into the depths of despair. You look back at the faces of those you once called friends, the laughter that once filled your days now replaced with haunting memories. You thought you could escape the expectations, the judgments, yet now you find yourself shackled by a different kind of expectation, the one that comes from within. The silent weeping is a reminder of the price paid for this hollow freedom, an admission of the loneliness that now defines your existence. In the darkness, you confront the truth. The quest for autonomy is a double-edged sword. For every step taken toward liberation, a piece of your heart is left behind, abandoned in the ruins of what was. The shadows whisper secrets of your past, urging you to acknowledge the pain and the void. In this reckoning, perhaps there lies a chance to redefine freedom, not as an escape from connection, but as a recognition of its power. Power lies not in isolation, but in the acceptance of community, in the embrace of those who once stood by your side. So, let the echoes of regret serve as a guide. Let them remind you that true strength comes not from solitude, but from the courage to reconnect, to rebuild the bridges you once burned. In the shadows, you may find that to be free is not to be alone, but to be intertwined with the lives you once cherished. And in that intertwining, perhaps you will discover a freedom far richer than the one you chased, a freedom woven with the threads of connection that once held you tight. Ah, the weight of choices, a burden so heavy it can crush the soul beneath its relentless pressure. Choices made in the name of freedom, decisions spun from the delicate threads of desire and desperation. We wear them like a cloak, thinking we have draped ourselves in power, when in fact, we are merely entangled in the very fabric of our own making. Each choice is a stone, a monument to our aspirations, but also a reminder of the paths we dare to tread, leading us into the wilderness of regret. Reflect for a moment on the past. It stands before us, a ghostly gallery of decisions, each frame a snapshot of what was once believed to be right. The echoes of laughter, the warmth of shared moments, they flicker like dying embers, and in their absence, a chilling silence takes hold. We grapple with these memories like a drowning man clinging to driftwood. There lies the truth, stark and unforgiving. The choices that once felt empowering have, in time, become a chain that binds us to sorrow. The freedom we sought has morphed into an ever-present reminder of what we have lost. Regret is not merely an emotion, it is a relentless shadow that follows us through the corridors of our lives. It whispers in the night, gnawing at our insides, reminding us of every misstep, every moment we chose the illusion of freedom over the warmth of connection. The cycle of regret spins endlessly, a cruel carousel that captures our hearts in its grasp. With each turn, we are reminded of the cost of autonomy, the price paid for the fleeting taste of liberation. In the depths of this cycle, the heart becomes a prison. The choices we made in the name of power transform into walls that confine us, built from the very bricks of our desires. We long for escape, yet find ourselves ensnared by the very freedom that once called to us. Each day, we wake with the weight of our decisions pressing down, suffocating the hope that once glimmered in our chests. We are left to navigate the labyrinth of our own regrets, wandering through the darkened halls of what if and if only. But in this darkness, there lies a flicker of understanding, a moment of clarity that pierces through the fog. The past may be a relentless judge, but it is also a teacher, offering lessons wrapped in the shrouds of pain. To confront these choices is to confront ourselves, to peel back the layers of denial and face the rawness of our existence. Only then can we begin to break the cycle, to transform regret from a chain into a catalyst for growth. As the echoes of our past reverberate through our minds, let them serve as a reminder that regret is a double-edged sword. It can cut deeply, but it can also carve a path toward redemption. The burden we carry may feel insurmountable, yet within that weight lies the potential for transformation. Acknowledge the regrets, embrace them, and allow them to illuminate the shadows of your life. In this acceptance, you may find the strength to redefine your narrative, to reclaim the agency you once thought lost. So, let the weight of choices not crush you, but empower you to forge a new path. Learn from the past, and let it guide you toward a future where freedom does not equate to isolation, but rather to a profound connection with the world around you. Remember, true power does not lie in the absence of regret, but in the courage to confront it, to rise from the ashes of our choices, and to find meaning in the chaos. In this reckoning, perhaps you will discover that the deepest strength comes from embracing the darkness, for it is there that the seeds of true freedom are sown. Ah, the seductive dance of power, but waltz cloaked in shadows, where the line between strength and weakness blurs like smoke in the air. They promised you freedom, didn't they? Sweet, intoxicating freedom that sparkled like a diamond in the dark? But let me tell you, my friend, true power is not found in the absence of chains but in the courage to embrace the darkness that forged those very links. You see, the illusions we chase often lead us to a precipice. We stand there, hearts pounding, believing we've finally grasped the reins of our destiny. Yet, in that moment of triumph, we overlook the truth lurking beneath the surface, a truth that whispers, "What will you do when the lights fade and the applause dies away?" Power without understanding is a child wielding a sword. It may shine bright, but it cuts indiscriminately, leaving wounds that fester and ache. In our quest for autonomy, we forget that darkness is not our enemy. It is a part of us, a canvas upon which our true selves are painted. To ignore it is to deny the very essence of our being. Every shadow we cast holds a piece of our strength, every flaw a source of wisdom. Embrace that darkness. Dance with it. Let it guide you through the maze of your desires, for within its depths lies a profound revelation. True power is not about control over others, but mastery over oneself. Ah, but there lies the paradox. We crave power, yet we fear the shadows that come with it. We build our empires, brick by brick, convinced that freedom from constraints will lead us to a utopia. But when the dust settles, what we find is a hollow shell, echoing the laughter of dreams unfulfilled. The freedom we sought becomes a prison, a gilded cage where we flounder in solitude, lost in the very autonomy we once coveted. Look around you. Society, a fragile tapestry, unravels at the seams when the guiding hands let go. The rise of anarchy fills the void left by the absence of order, and in that chaos, we see the true face of freedom. It is not a serene landscape, it is a tempest, a storm that ravages homes and hearts alike. The laughter fades, replaced by the cries of the lost, the weeping of a world that thought it could outrun its own shadows. And what of those who revel in their newfound power? They stand tall, hearts hardened, but beneath the bravado lies a knowing emptiness. They seek validation in dominance, in control, but it is a fleeting high, a mirage that dissipates with the dawn. In the quiet hours of night, when the world is asleep, they confront the stark reality of their choices. Each decision, each act of defiance against the shadows, becomes a reminder of their isolation. They may wear the crown, but it is a heavy burden, adorned with regrets that whisper their names in the silence. So, what does it mean to redefine power? It means acknowledging that true strength comes not from the absence of fear, but from the mastery of it. It is about understanding that the darkness within us is not a flaw to be eradicated, but a tool to be wielded. Embrace it. Learn from it. Let it guide you through the labyrinth of your existence, leading to a profound understanding of what it means to be truly free. In the end, the echoes of regret will fade, but the lessons learned in the shadows will remain. They will carve a path toward a new dawn, where freedom is not merely a word, but a lived experience, a dance with the darkness that empowers rather than ensnares. So, rise from the ashes of your choices, reclaim your narrative, and let the strength born from your shadows illuminate the way forward. For in true acceptance lies the power to redefine not just your freedom, but your very essence. Time, the relentless judge, the cruel arbiter of our choices. It marches on, indifferent to the cries of a heart laid bare, while we remain trapped in the web of our own making. Each day that passes, each tick of the clock, etches deeper the scars of regret upon our souls. You thought you could escape the shadows, didn't you? But they linger, like ghosts haunting the corners of your mind, reminding you of the paths you chose and the bridges you burned. Regret is not a fleeting emotion, it is a heavy cloak that wraps itself around your shoulders, suffocating, inescapable. It whispers in your ear, a constant reminder of the choices you made in the name of freedom. You sought autonomy, yet what you found was a prison of your own design. You thought that casting off the chains would grant you serenity, but instead, you were left with a haunting silence, a void echoing with unspoken words and unfulfilled dreams. As you sit in that silence, the weight of your decisions becomes unbearable. You reflect on the past, a tapestry woven with threads of ambition and folly. Each choice, a stitch in the fabric of your existence, tells a story of longing, of hope, and ultimately, of loss. The laughter that once filled your life fades into a distant memory, replaced by the cold grip of solitude. You yearned for freedom, yet what you found was an isolation that gnaws at your very core. You see, loneliness is the true cost of your pursuit. It creeps in like a thief in the night, stealing away the warmth of connection, leaving you shivering in the dark. The community you once cherished crumbles under the weight of your desire for independence. Friends become distant figures, their faces blurred by the haze of your relentless quest for self. You become a mere shadow of the person you once were, an echo of your former self, lost in a world that no longer recognizes you. And in those quiet moments, when the world is asleep, you weep silently. The tears fall like raindrops on barren ground, each one a testament to the regrets that fill your heart. You weep for the bonds you severed, for the love you pushed away in your reckless pursuit. The tears are a release, a catharsis, but they also serve as a reminder of the emptiness that now defines your existence. Time, that merciless judge, has a way of peeling back the layers of our bravado, revealing the raw wounds beneath. It forces you to confront the lingering pain of your choices, the relationships you shattered, the moments you let slip away. Every tick of the clock is a reminder of the life you could have had you chosen connection over isolation, understanding over defiance. Regret lingers like smoke in the air, refusing to dissipate, a constant companion as you navigate the wasteland of your own making. And yet, within that pain lies a lesson, an opportunity for redemption, if you dare to confront it. You can choose to redefine your narrative, to reclaim the agency you surrendered in pursuit of that elusive freedom. The stories we tell ourselves shape our identities, but they don't have to bind us. You can rewrite the script, transforming regret into a catalyst for growth, a stepping stone toward a more profound understanding of who you are. So, confront the consequences of your choices. Acknowledge the weight of regret, but don't let it crush you. Let it be the fuel that ignites a fire within, propelling you toward a brighter horizon. The echoes of the past may linger, but they do not have to define your future. Embrace the shadows, learn from your mistakes, and rise anew. For in the depths of darkness, you may just find the light that leads you back to yourself, a self that is resilient, powerful, and unafraid to navigate the complexities of existence. In the end, you must ask yourself, what will you do with the echoes of regret? Will you let them drown you in despair, or will you rise, stronger than before, ready to reclaim your destiny? The choice is yours, and it is in that choice that true freedom lies. The bittersweet taste of consequence, a flavor so rich and thick, it clings to the throat, refusing to be swallowed. The shadows that once danced at the edges of your mind now loom large, casting their darkness upon the very essence of who you are. In this theater of existence, the spotlight shines not on the glory of triumph, but on the haunting echoes of choices made in the name of freedom. It is here, in this abyss of regret, that you must confront the specters of your past. A self-reflection, they call it, but what is it if not a reckoning? Look into the mirror, and what do you see? A visage marked by the scars of decisions that reverberate through time. Each line etched upon your face tells a story, of ambition unchecked, of dreams pursued without thought of consequence. You sought power, didn't you? The intoxicating allure of autonomy led you down a path lined with thorns, and now the blood on your hands is a testament to your folly. But don't hide from it. Embrace it. For within this darkness lies the seed of reclamation. You can reclaim not just the agency you surrendered, but the very narrative of your life. The choices you made may weigh heavy, but they can also serve as the foundation of a new beginning. Stand tall amidst the rubble of your past. Own it. There's a strange power in recognizing your flaws, in acknowledging the shadows that lurk within. Only then can you begin to wield that power, not as a weapon against others, but as a shield for yourself. You see, redefining freedom is not about casting off every chain, it's about understanding which chains truly bind you. Is it the fear of connection? The anxiety of vulnerability? Or perhaps the delusion that autonomy means isolation? Break free from these illusions. Freedom isn't the absence of ties, it's the strength to forge meaningful connections while remaining true to yourself. It's the courage to face the darkness within and find solace in the knowledge that you are not alone in your struggles. The echoes of regret linger, yes, but they don't have to drown you. Let them be your guide, your teachers. They whisper secrets of resilience, of the power that comes from acknowledging your past. Every misstep, every stumble, can illuminate a path forward. You need not be defined by your errors. Instead, let them be the groundwork for a stronger foundation. The scars you bear are not marks of shame but badges of survival, each a reminder that you have faced the storm and emerged, albeit battered, still standing. And as you navigate this newfound understanding, remember, the true strength lies not in the pursuit of an unattainable perfection but in the acceptance of your own humanity. In the depths of despair, you may discover a raw, unfiltered power, a determination to shape your destiny, to become the architect of your own life. The darkness is not your enemy, it is a canvas upon which you can paint your own story, one stroke at a time. So, I ask you, what will you do with this moment? Will you allow the weight of your past to anchor you, or will you rise like a phoenix, igniting the flames of your rebirth? The choice is yours to make. Embrace the shadows, confront your regrets, and reclaim your agency. For in doing so, you will not only redefine freedom but also unveil the warrior hidden beneath the layers of doubt and despair. You are not merely a product of your past, you are the master of your future, and it is time to take the reins once more. If you resonate with the idea that true strength arises from confronting our deepest regrets, then share this message. Let the world know that even in darkness, we find our power. Comment below on the moment you faced your own demons and how it transformed you. Subscribe for more hard-hitting truths and reflections that challenge the very fabric of our existence. Remember, it's in the chaos where we forge our greatest selves. Rise from the ashes of your past and let your story unfold. The shadows are waiting. Will you answer their call?